Germany. He has a very huge
Oh yeah, absolutely, yes.
So I'm here on his behalf. And first of all, I want to thank you for taking your time.
Oh, no problem.
And it's such an honor to be standing next to you right now.
Hopefully it's not too loud around here. They're doing this Jedi training here.
I was just telling her it's.
Do you want to try to maybe move away from it a little bit? Unfortunately, the sound kind of just fills in this corner.
Oh, this is perfect. I think this is good, yeah. Okay, so.
It never fails. All of a sudden they want to power up lightsabers when we're do an interview.
Sorry. So, just don't mind me if I stumble over my words and stuff, because it's like, you're like the man.
Well, that's all right. Well, hopefully you can make me sound good too. A little bit of magic editing. So.
Awesome. So, again, I want to thank you for taking your time and.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
With us. So, first question that we have for you is that how did you start with Hasbro? I know you started as an intern, and basically from there, what made you decide to stay with the company, and what kind of advice would you have with these youngsters that probably want to do something and work for a company like this, and especially with Star Wars type of stuff, you know?
Well, as you mentioned, I was very fortunate. I was going to the University of Cincinnati, taking industrial design, and it's a 5-year program that has co-op. At the time, it was in quarters, so you would go to school for 3 months, then work for 3 months, and go to school for 3 months. The program was set up that once you would go to a company, the goal would be to go to that company twice. So it would be really beneficial for the student as well as the company. You would just interview. I could have very easily been sent to Seattle, Washington, or to New York City. Actually, my first co-op job was in Columbus, Ohio. My second co-op job was in Chicago, Illinois. And then I had the opportunity, hey Mark, Kenner is looking to start a brand new preliminary design department. Go down there and check it out, interview with them, and see how that happens, how it works out. So I went down there, hit it off with the manager there. I grew up making model airplanes. He grew up making model airplanes. So we hit it off. So he said, yeah, sure, come on, come on. And so I was the first co-op for this brand new design department. Toys, I never really thought about toys, but then I realized pretty quickly that maybe this was something I wanted to do all along. With my background of building models all the time, and you're like, wow, this might be the perfect fit. So this was in January of '77, 40 years ago, plus 40 years, and we saw the trailer for Star Wars in February of that year. We all saw the trailer and said, we don't know what this is, but we have to do it. Our idea of space was 2001. Everything was white and pristine and very polished and very by the book. We see this trailer of Star Wars and it's dirty. It's a real world. I mean, we can relate to it. And we said, we got to do this. And I like to say, for $50 in a handshake, Kenner was able to secure the license, and the rest of that is history. So I was very fortunate. I guess they invested 3/4 in me, and then until I graduated in 1978. And I was able to just come right back to my office after I graduated from college, and so I've been working on Star Wars ever since. So I would say that for young guys and gals coming up into college, follow your passion. See if you can identify what that passion might be, and hopefully you have the opportunity, like I did, to realize that. I've essentially been in toys for 2/3 of my life, and I can't imagine doing anything else. And I think it's if you can follow your passion and do what you really love, that's the key thing. And I guess that would be my advice. Work hard, you know, be someone that can be counted on. And your talent, you don't necessarily have to be the most talented person in the world, but I think that if you project yourself professional and hardworking, the attitude that you bring to your job more than makes up for any technical skill that you might, because you can always learn that. You know, learning to be professional, learning to be humble, learning all that kind of thing, that's not really learned. It's either in you or it's not. And I say, work on that, present yourself well, be a hard worker, be a teammate. That's, I think, the most critical thing, is because to make this work requires a very large team. I happen to be a small part of that, and I feel very blessed to be a small part of that. But it's designers, engineers, tooling people, painters, everybody that PR, everybody involved with Star Wars. It takes a village, as they say, and that's what makes me really proud too, that I can honestly call the people I work with my friends.
That's so awesome. Like, what an inspiration.
Wow, that's just like, I don't know where that comes from.
That was like, you were just like in the zone. That's so awesome. That's really
so sorry
cool.
for babbling a little bit.
No, I think that's so amazing though. Like, you really, like, you're so passionate about that. That's like true passion, I love that. So, day to day at work, like, what do you enjoy most doing?
My day to day, it's interesting because it's different day to day. You never quite know what email will you open up. What surprise might I have gotten from our partners in China? We work very closely with the designers and engineers in HFE, that's Hasbro Far East. Since there is a 12-hour time difference, it's actually kind of a process that the design process is almost 24/7.
Wow.
When we're working during the day, it's their night, and vice versa. So we're constantly emailing back and forth. We're very fortunate to have very passionate members of the team there as well. Star Wars is really a global. People love Star Wars.
Yep.
It's not just for one person or one small group.
Yep.
It's everybody. And I think a lot of folks have a lifelong passion for Star Wars. Whether it's someone like myself who has the opportunity to work on it, or whether it's a fan who's been a part of Star Wars. I mean, it's a shared community. And I'm very fortunate to be able to pass along my passion in the form of the toys to all the fans, whether they be young, middle, or older. We really try to present Star Wars in such a way to all of our fans. Whether you're a young one who's playing with Play School, or an older collector that's really excited about Black Series, we really want to try to give a piece of the Star Wars universe to everybody, and so that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I go out and get some of the Play School stuff because they're just so cute. I have no kids, but I need them.
Well, that's what's so nice about Star Wars. It really is a very diverse fantasy.
Yeah.
Disney is really putting out some inspiring content with their new movies. There's always been strong characters in Star Wars from the very beginning. But I think with the new storylines, it's just expanding what key characters can be. And it's a lot of teamwork on their parts, too. They didn't destroy the Death Star just with a single person. It was Luke and R2 and Han and the Millennium Falcon and X-Wings, and it's like this giant collective kind of thing that Because a lot of people, it's interesting, Star Wars, I love the Empire too. Because the Empire is, in its own way, is just as cool an element as being on the Rebels. So a lot of times I find myself skirting on the fence. It's like, well, I'm getting to work on an X-Wing, but you know what? I'm working on a TIE fighter right next to it.
That's awesome.
And I love working on both. So it's a line that you can truly be on both sides of the fence.
Nice.
So it's kind of fun.
That's awesome.
I'm not sure if I completely answered your question.
I love you. Just go off
You can
track.
always
I
go
love
back.
it.
Whatever.
So the 2008 Legacy Millennium Falcon was outstanding. What was the reason to make the next Falcon, which was the Force Awakens Falcon, smaller again? And what was the idea behind it? Do you have an answer for that?
Well, when we came out with the big Millennium Falcon in 2008, that was prompted because the original Falcon, we had already developed 2 major tooling modifications to that. We realized that the tools were not going to last for very much longer. They could break tomorrow, or it could be next year. It's hard to say. We couldn't imagine Star Wars without a Millennium Falcon. And I was very fortunate to work as a co-op on the original Millennium Falcon. And so now it's an opportunity. It's like, okay, let's sit down and decide what this really wants to be. We fully understand what the films are. We fully understand the key beats and the major moments. So we said, you know what? We need to make it big.
Nice.
And so we did. We took all the key beats from Star Wars, all the key beats from The Empire Strikes Back, and we kind of mashed them into a single vehicle. But the reality of it is, not too many people are going to be flying that thing around. It's a playset. But we knew that going in, and so I reached out to Lucasfilm and said, you know what, please let me design an escape pod that we can put a figure in.
Sweet.
So you can pull it out so you can fly around. So you'd have some mobility. Because we figured you're having to have your mom and dad come and move this.
Help you with it. It's like, all right, let's fly it around.
We thought, but that was worth being able to deliver a Millennium Falcon that we loved the first one, but there were things that we wanted to do, and this is an opportunity for us to do it. At that same time, we were also able to do our large AT-AT. So those were the 2 kind of cornerstone Star Wars classic vehicles that we were able to do. When Force Awakens came around, we go, wow, I can do another Millennium Falcon? Wow, this is too much. But the reality of it was we knew we couldn't go bigger. We really wanted this to engage a new fan in The Force Awakens. It had been a while for a new Star Wars movie. We knew that there was going to be a whole new group of little guys and little gals that we really wanted to be able to say, you know what, this can be your Star Wars. You can start to make your own fantasies, make your own memories. So when we had the opportunity to do the Falcon, we thought, you know what, this is all about the kids. We had worked with our Nerf team, and we said, you know what, we really want to put some Nerf launchers in these things. And people kind of like, well, I'm not really sure we should do that. And we go, no, we should. and so we worked with our team, our Nerf partners. They were very gracious. They really helped us develop the launchers. And we thought, you know what, we should go back to the original size. It's almost identical in size to the original, because that's something that is manageable for our younger fans. And that's exactly the approach that we took. But we also had many decades of electronic advancement. So now we can put, lights and sounds right from the film and really play that up. And we thought this is exactly what we should do. And we feel really proud of it. And we felt it was the appropriate size and feature for what we were trying to accomplish. And what we were trying to accomplish was to, inspire a whole new generation of Star Wars fans, and we hope we've done that.
I think you have. Still going. Let's see, what's another good question for you? What is your favorite Star Wars movie? Especially now with these new movies coming out.
Let's see, before Rogue One and before The Force Awakens, I would have to say The Empire Strikes Back was my favorite film. It was the second chapter of the 3-act play. You know, the Empire had gotten the upper hand. There was more to lose in Empire Strikes Back. And I think just folks gravitate towards that. Nothing better than walkers going across the landscape of Hoth. Nothing better than Luke having a lightsaber duel with Darth Vader. Those are some epic moments. And I think it stays with everybody. I mean, Star Wars has grown into such a cultural phenomenon. It's embedded everywhere. I think it's embedded in us. You can see stormtroopers walking down the street, and they go like, "Oh yeah, there's some stormtroopers." It's a part of who we are, and I think that's what's so awesome. Mr. Lucas developed such a relatable story that everybody could instantly gravitate towards. You had these odd worlds and characters and heroes and villains and spaceships, and they were all sort of mashed together in this very believable way. You know, a reluctant hero and a scoundrel and the baddest guy in the universe, you know, all of a sudden come together and like, wow, this is monumental. So I would say that Empire Strikes Back, but I must admit that Rogue One and Force Awakens is right up there at the top with Empire Strikes Back. Yeah. So in other words, I love them all.
Sweet. Let's see. So, we are closing in on the release of Episode 8 coming up. Do you think that Episode 9 will be the end of Star Wars, not taking into account spin-off movies like the Han Solo movie and the Boba Fett movie?
I'm not really sure I can really give a good answer to that particular question.
I feel like it's going to keep going.
Well, I think as far as the saga is concerned, I think everybody is anticipating 8 and then 9. I think for a lot of folks, including myself, there's a bit of closure there. You know, we've invested a lot of years and passion into these films. We really enjoy the expanded story that the saga will allow to be generated. Rogue One. To me, Rogue One could have very easily been Episode 3.9. And I wouldn't have minded that at all. And I think that for all the newer fans that are really starting to get into Star Wars, from a personal point of view, I certainly hope that the spin-off films can keep going and expand. I think there's a lot of great characters that have been established in Star Wars that people would like to know a little bit more about. What's their background? Why are they the way they are?
Exactly.
And what caused them to end up interacting with all the characters from the original, the films. And I think having that jump, that from classic to Force Awakens, I think really worked well, because in real time you had a connective thread.
Yep.
Leia and Luke and Han and Chewie, they could become that bridge between classic and 7, 8, and 9. And I think that was really key to let people kind of have closure for the classic, allow them to invest into 7, 8, and 9. It's hard for me to say, well, should there be 10, 11, and 12? Maybe. That's, if I think if the fans are wanting Star Wars, and I think if there's still great content the way they're putting it out now, I wouldn't be surprised if Star Wars goes on for quite a while. But that's something else for someone else to decide. But whatever they decide, God willing, I will try to be involved with it as much as I can.
Sweet. Thank you. Last question? Okay, this is a perfect one. Are you a collector yourself? And obviously, are you a fan of Star Wars?
Yes, I am a collector as well as a fan. I think, first and foremost, I'm a fan. I think it's important to understand Star Wars, to be passionate about Star Wars. It helps get through the challenges, because Star Wars is a challenging brand to produce. We're trying to take all the little elements in the Star Wars universe and apply them to our fan base. Like I said, the play school, 3 3/4, whether it might be Play-Doh or Nerf. There's so many elements to Star Wars, and there's so many things that Hasbro can bring to the table in support of Star Wars. For the last 40 years, I think Kenner and Hasbro has been a great partner. The partnership between Hasbro and Kenner and Lucasfilm and Star Wars has really been what's made this work over the years. They're passionate, we're passionate, and without them, without their support, and without the fans' support, we might not be able to do what we do. But everybody loves Star Wars, and everybody is very supportive, and it's awesome to work on. I can't lie, it's the best job in the world. I can't imagine doing anything else. I know one day I'll have to climb in my own Malayan Falcon and say, "Punch it, Chewie, let's get out of here." But I'm not quite ready to do that yet. And if there's Star Wars to be made, I hope I'm a part of it.
Oh, you definitely will be. You definitely will be. Thank you. And can I ask